All right.
All right,
Well, I
brother.
think this is the moment that the world has been waiting for.
Yeah. You out there, Kim and Kanye?
The
We're going to talk
world.
about Endgame for you. Hey, Vladimir. I saw you fall on the ice the other day. That was pretty good.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Putin. He
He
played.
fell on the
He
ice?
played in a charity hockey match, and then he was skating around at the end, waving to the crowd, and there was a carpet on the ice, and he tripped.
Oh, oh man, that's our president. I hope he's all right.
Yeah, it's our Lord and President Vladimir
Jesus,
Putin.
I hope he's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I was worried about that domestic agenda.
I
All
think
right.
I think the only thing really hurt is his pride.
You bet your ass that whoever put that carpet down is in a
Oh,
fucking
they're
good
dead.
spot right
They're
now.
dead.
They are dying of adamantium poisoning right now.
All right.
Woo.
Avengers Endgame. You ready?
I'm ready.
So this is, of course, following up our Avengers coverage, which we did around this time last year, and we liked those movies. So
This
here's
was the
Endgame.
fourth Avengers movie we've covered, but we also did Iron Man 1, 2, and 3. Check those episodes out if you haven't already. Yep.
That's all accurate. Is that the only Marvel we've done?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of surprising. I mean, it'll
It's
happen.
surprising, but of course it'll happen. Absolutely. But yeah, I think that's okay. I mean, we managed, I think, like one a year, almost.
They release like 3 of these movies a year, Henry. I've got to watch 3 of them a year. I don't need to condense that into even smaller chunks of time.
Yeah. No, I think we picked well. That's why we picked Avengers, I'm sure, so we could just talk about all the characters in
Well,
one shot.
we knew Infinity War was coming out. We really wanted to cover that.
That had nothing to do with the decision.
Oh, okay, got it. So Avengers Endgame came out April 26th, a couple weeks ago there, on a budget. Do you know the budget of this fucking movie?
I did at one point. Let me guess. Is it 600 million?
No, not that's crazy. But it's 356 million.
Yeah,
But no worries, it's made $2.344 billion at the box office.
I heard today that it is the second highest globally.
Yep,
now.
it has now defeated Titanic
Yes.
to come into second place, and so he separated the Cameron movies, and Avatar's still in number 1 there.
Everybody go see Endgame 10 times.
Well,
Everybody in the world, go back.
it's happening a lot. It's
Avatar.
it's of course number 1 at the box office for the year so far. Do you want a box office check-in for 2019?
Oh, absolutely.
Top 10? What do you think is on there?
Oh, for fuck's sake, man!
It's this year.
All right, Captain Marvel,
Yeah, that's number 2.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
That was last year.
Oh yeah.
What's wrong with you?
I'm trying to think of big movies this year.
But that was like 10 months ago.
It's a long time. Us.
Yeah, that's number 3.
Oh, all right. I got 2 of them.
Well,
Go ahead.
Endgame's number 1. All right, so still hanging in there at number 10, Alita, Battle Angel.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess that. Okay.
Number 9, Lego Movie 2.
Oh, can't believe I missed it.
Number 8, still Henry. We're in late May or mid-May. Number 8, your number 8 movie of 2019 is still The Upside.
Are you what?
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, I didn't know that movie made anything.
It was a hit.
Wow.
Cranston in the wheelchair. Kevin Hart hanging out.
Can't beat it.
Number 7's Dumbo. Number 6 is Glass.
Jeez. Okay. Yeah, I would have never guessed any of these. If
Number-
you had them in front of me, I wouldn't have.
There
No.
you go. Number 5, distantly behind Captain Marvel and Avengers Endgame, is Shazam. And number 4 is the last How to Train Your Dragon movie. So there you have it.
Yeah. Did you see Shazam?
No.
Good. Okay.
I kind of wanted to, but it was like I was in the theater. I would just seen Captain Marvel, and Shazam was like starting in like a minute. And I
Oh,
was,
yes, you
yeah,
told me that.
I
Yeah,
can't sit
right.
through this fucking thing right now.
No, thanks. Right.
So of course, Joe and Anthony Russo are back to direct. This is their fourth Marvel feature, following Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Captain America: Civil War, Infinity War, and now this. The Russo brothers, all right.
Russo, hey.
I looked them up. I always thought they would look like nerds because like they did a lot of like cool comedy shit years ago. But
They don't.
no, they look like Goombas.
Hey,
They with the Russo brothers, Bubats.
Joe and Anthony. Anthony.
Extra sausage, please. Give me some extra sausage.
Yo, Hendry.
Okay.
What do you want from me?
What the fuck?
Face brute.
As written by Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely, who have done a bunch of Marvel shit, right?
I recognize the name Christopher Marcus. I don't remember McFeely.
McFeely? You don't know McFeely?
Sounds like a fucking McDonald's order or a character in an animated Adult Swim show.
Or a fucking McDonald's character who would fucking touch a kid.
McFeely!
Stay close to the grimace. You don't want to go around McFeely.
Yeah. A free McFeely Happy Toy with every Patreon subscription of $5 or more.
All right, so this McFeely fella, I just looked him up. He's worked on those Narnia movies way back when.
Naturally.
He wrote Pain and Gain, which is one of my favorite movies. And since then, he's only worked on Marvel. He worked on First Avenger, The Dark World. God, not two of the best.
Oh my!
But then The Winter Soldier, Civil War, and these two Avengers movies. And he created the Agent Carter TV series.
Oh, all right. Okay.
And Christopher Marcus looks like same exact credits. They must be partners.
So Marcus is a marked man, and McFeely is feeling good.
Great stuff. So this movie, let's talk about it. What about your movie going experience?
Okay. Movie going experience. I waited until Tuesday after opening day. Saw it at night. Thought it would be less crowded. I was dead wrong. Only had to move once, which was all right.
Just noise.
A family of 4 had plenty of room to sit anywhere else. They decided to sit directly behind me. 2 were essential toddlers. I decided to decide beforehand that my seat would be indeed kicked, and I would have to deal with some crying.
You should have turned around and said, "Are we gonna have a fucking problem here?"
I just decided to preemptively strike. It was a preemptive strike. They didn't really do anything wrong, but I knew they would. So I moved up an aisle.
You got out of there.
I got out.
You had the luxury of moving up an aisle, so it wasn't that crowded.
No, I was able to move up an aisle next to a girl who was on her phone, but that's okay. She was a few seats away. She had the volume off, and I was close enough to the screen that it's such a loud, colorful movie that like her annoying Facebook messages were not bothering me, so it's okay.
I'll tell you what, coming up on the franchise, I have a pretty good phone in the movies story.
I'm ready to hear it, yeah. And I had a good audience, though, for the most part. Besides a cackling woman who laughed at all the wrong things way back in the theater, it was
when Iron Man dies.
Yeah. No, she was laughing at every moment that didn't make sense, and it was one of those laughs that was like, like what, like that kind of thing.
The fuck was that?
Yeah, exactly.
In the theater with fucking the Roadrunner?
Yeah, it was like
or Woody Woodpecker?
Woody Woodpecker. Hey, oh, yeah. And besides that, though, it was a good film going experience. A lot of really funny looking nerds, though. I will say that. I don't get that often down here, but I sure did this time, and it was really fucking funny to me because I mean there was really some showers that needed to be had,
Oh,
and
I know
some
nerds. They don't know.
I don't know. They don't bathe.
They
Or
don't brush their
I
teeth
don't-
right either. When I worked
Weird.
at Midtown Comics, I feel like I was constantly seeing those teeth that just seem coated in something.
There's a lot of tartar in the island.
Holy shit, it's true.
Yeah. Yeah. But hey, God bless their hearts. So anyway, good.
Agent Tartar.
Agent. That's very good. That's
Thanks,
very good.
bro.
Very good. Much better than my McFeely joke. Yeah.
I enjoyed your feeling
Really?
joke.
Nah, it wasn't that good. That was really good. That was it. Pretty uneventful. And here we go with the D Train's movie going experience.
Okay, went to go see it Saturday after opening. Been out for 8 days. Managed.
Our week after.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Managed to stay unspoiled. Thank you very much. Didn't know anything
True.
going in. And excuse me. And I I saw this first. I got a ticket, all the way in the back. I mean, it was I thought it might be a little quieter too on a Saturday at 3 p.m. a week later, but no, it was sold out. And
Wow.
yeah, but I got a pretty good seat, like way significantly better than I had for Infinity War, if you remember my movie going experience there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I did have to pee at one point. I missed a little bit of the movie.
I held it.
I couldn't. It was too
hard.
early. It was early enough where I was like, this ain't
yeah.
happening.
Right.
Bigger shit is gonna happen in this movie later on, and I can't miss that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So during some of the time traveling back stuff, I used the urinal.
All right.
But the fun stuff happened because I snuck into another movie afterwards.
Okay.
All right, so I needed a palate cleanser. I just sat through 3 hours of Endgame plus probably another 2.5 hours of trailers.
That was not fair. I agree. I mean, what are you doing to me? Jesus Christ.
Okay, so what trailers did you see? Do you want to talk about it?
You're going to have to help me out because I saw it quite a while ago.
I remember that the new Men in Black trailer looked appalling.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
What else did you see? There were a lot of like big movies coming up.
Yeah, I just said you're going to have to help me remember.
I can't remember. I was surprised I didn't see the new Spider-Man trailer. Oh, I saw the new Star Wars trailer.
Oh yeah, so did I.
With Rey looking badass. I enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Who could care?
I'm excited for that fucking movie.
Fucking fatigued.
All right. Well, I get it.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, if you were me, you would be too. You didn't like the last two, so I don't care about the third.
But I think I'm kind of excited. I think I'm gonna rewatch Force Awakens and Last Jedi going into this one.
Have fun with that.
I will.
Yeah, I know. I know you will.
Yeah. I can't remember what other trailers we saw, but there were like 1,000.
Oh, I know. There was I think I saw the other Godzilla thing with the big monster.
Oh yeah, that looks like shit.
Yeah, that was up. Yeah, no real superhero. I saw Spider-Man.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Did it look charming?
It looked a hell of a lot better than the other one. Yes.
All right.
Yeah, it really did. I actually cared. I was more invested in this trailer than I was in the entire previous movie. So
You mean my still standing strong at #1 Marvel movie of all time? Spoilers for my list.
That's bullshit. You just spoiled the fucking list. You're awful.
Don't care.
You're awful.
No, I don't care.
I know, but I wanted to hear it.
Not gonna do it.
Change. I wanted to hear if it changed.
It didn't.
Finish.
Yeah.
Spider-Man Homecoming. I already seen you in high school twice. Don't need to see you again, Larry. Larry, can I finish?
Okay. So after I went to see Endgame, I snuck into Long Shot,
No clue what that is.
the new Seth Rogen, Charlize Theron rom-com.
God. All right.
Dude, first of all, I will say that this is a charmer.
Yeah?
I loved it.
Who wrote it and who directed it?
It's Jonathan Levine, the fellow who did 50-50 and The Night Before, was it called?
See that, but I liked 50-50 quite a lot. We watched that together.
We sure did.
Yeah.
It
was a Christian Bale moment. We sure did.
Well, I don't have my full voice still. I had a bad cough earlier in the week, and I think I'm like working at like 75% capacity right now.
But you're a sickly fellow. You get ill quite often.
I gotta tell you, I got on some vitamins as of today because of this.
Is that
I've
right?
been sick all fucking winter.
Yeah, I think you're needed change of pace in your health life. Yeah, you get sick a lot.
I do. I really do.
It's not a criticism. It's just yeah.
It's not a criticism. Thanks,
no,
bro.
because I have an incredible immune system. I only get like one cold a year, and I feel bad for other people because I know, like, it seems like every other day I know someone who's sick.
Yep, my immune system is for shit, man.
Yeah.
All right. So what am I talking about? Oh, right. So I snuck into Long Shot. Now here's what happened in that theater. First of all, it was more crowd than I thought it was going to be, so I had to move seats, of course, because
that movie?
Yeah, someone was like, "These are my seats."
Oh God.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I moved up and I got pretty good seats. So I'm sitting behind a dude and a girl. They appeared to be friends. I think maybe the dude was gay.
Okay.
And the movie started, and this motherfucker has not put his phone away. Uh-oh. He is fashioning an Instagram post, Henry. Okay. Now, I guess he and this girl had gone to brunch earlier in the day. And he took a picture of himself enjoying his food at brunch, and he was determined to get that on Instagram in the most pristine form possible. So he's editing the color on the picture. He is adding some text to be strewn across the picture, and a hashtag, which was like hashtag live my best life or something like that.
I fucking hate everybody.
Yeah. Oh. And so here's what the D train did, Henry.
Oh, here we go.
Okay. I busted out my own phone.
Wait, okay, is he behind you, in front of you, or in your aisle?
He's directly in front of me.
Okay.
I bust out my phone. I turn on the flashlight. And I shine it onto his phone.
Oh, yes!
And I was like, "Hey, man, do you need any help seeing what you're working on, man? Looks like a good post." And he
oh
yeah.
It's one for the halls of fame.
he came back at me with some shit. And he put his phone away in disgrace, of course. And he turned back to me and he said something like, "Oh, do you need a better look?" And I was like, turn the fuck around," or something like that. I didn't even respond. I couldn't take it. And here's the kicker to the story.
Coup de grace.
About an hour into the movie, they just fucking left.
Oh my God. I bet that two things were happening in his brain. One, he was really annoyed he couldn't finish that setup on his Instagram. It was on his mind. He wanted to get it out there for the world to see.
He needed the likes.
Yeah, and two, he needed the like. And two, he was pissed. He was just in a bad mood.
He was fucking steaming. I could tell he was steaming.
And I'm not sitting in front of this motherfucker anymore.
It was, and when they left, it was sort of a, let's get the fuck out of here.
Oh, well, then that's definitely what was going on. Did he shoot you a look?
No look.
No look.
Mm-mm.
Okay. No look pass.
No
All right.
pass. So I felt pretty good about that one.
Well done, my friend. Cheers.
Thanks, man. So I took that fella down, and I think this is the problem with the Movie Pass or the AMC Stub Club or whatever. Is because you get the 3 free movies a week with the flat fee for the month.
Yeah.
I think it encourages people to just like, I've got an hour to kill. I'll go see like the first hour of a movie.
I think you're right. I bet you that's what's going on.
And it's fucked up because they're not really there to see the movie, so they don't respect the people that are there that paid good money to watch this fucking. Not that I paid anything, I snuck in, but but I was there to see that movie.
Wait a minute. You paid for the service. You get 3 free movies, and you snuck in anyway.
Yeah.
Why?
Cause I don't. Then I gotta go on the app. I gotta find the theater.
Oh my god! Wow. All right.
All right. So that's what I did, man. And Long Shot was great. Some would say better than Avengers Endgame,
Okay.
including myself.
Oh, all right. Well, before we get into the movie, do you want to rank them so then we can freely go into the movie and just talk about the
Oh,
movie
you want to rank them before we do it?
Well, I almost feel like we should.
I'm fine with that.
Because that way, once we get going on the movie, we can just take off.
All right. I re-ranked from scratch, Henry. Didn't even look at my old list.
I looked at my old list, and then I re-ranked, and then I re-ranked.
Ooh.
So look at this. I'll show you. You can see on my screen. On the top, there's my first list.
It looks like a system here. Wait,
yeah, it's my third list.
I don't want to get spoiled. I already know where
Guardians.
You could never. I just saw where Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 ended up. All right, so I gotta start, right? Because I have 32 on my list.
That's right.
All right, so this is all, we're doing the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? So, like, this isn't like a full Marvel ranking where we're going to do, like, the Spider-Man movies or whatever. This is just properties that take place in, like, the fucking MCU.
Including Netflix shows and whatever you've watched. Yeah. Because I don't even know what stations they're on.
A lot of ABC, some Hulu.
Okay. Oh.
All right. All right, so my number 32, the worst thing they've ever put out in the MCU, and I don't think you'll find many people who disagree with you on this, and that is the Inhumans TV show.
Okay, never saw it.
Yeah, right. that was fucking garbage for the most part. Yep, too bad. My number 31, and it pains me to say this, and I thought about not even including it on the list because I dropped it like halfway through the first season.
That's okay. I included stuff that I dropped. Yeah.
Okay, so that my number 31 is Cloak and Dagger.
Oh,
and that airs on the Freeform network, which is ABC Family. That's their name now. My number 30 is, of course, when I find it. Oh, the first movie to make the list.
Oh, all right.
Here it is, my least favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe picture, and that is Thor: The Dark World.
Wow. All right.
My number 29 here is a show I watched for about 4 seasons, and it's still on the air, going into its final season right now, and it had its moments that I enjoyed, but it was a bit of a slog most of the time, and that's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I thought that might be a little higher. I've never seen it, but you stuck with it that long, and I knew that, I think, so I thought it might be a little higher, but okay.
No. 28, a show I liked about as much as that, much shorter, which is probably why it's a slot higher on the list. But for me, it was a missed opportunity, and that was Netflix's The Defenders.
Oh, interesting. Have seen it. All right. Okay.
All right. Are you 27? You're ready to jump in? Okay.
Would you like me to come in now?
I would.
All right. For me, the worst thing the MCU has ever put out is, and I only watched the first season, and that is Iron Fist.
See, that I have not seen.
Okay.
So
All
that's
right.
not on my list. But yeah,
That'll be put
I know that was a common criticism of that show. And from what I saw on Defenders, very earned.
Yeah.
My number 27 is a movie that is beloved by some and actually featured very strongly plot wise into Avengers Endgame, and that is Captain America, the first Avenger.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Well, you knew my feelings on that one, but okay, I didn't expect that. Number 26, I know, is a movie beloved by you, um, but not by me. And I
Can I
don't need.
guess?
Yeah.
Iron Man 3?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't think you'd get
I
that.
thought that was
Okay.
about right for you at this point
Good
in the
call.
list.
Good call.
My number 26 is a pretty solid TV show. Never quite reached the heights of a couple of the other Netflix series, but great casting, some good villains, and Mike Coulter is a very good Luke Cage.
All right. All right. That's a fair placement. My number 25. I do like it more than Iron Man 3, but that is not saying much whatsoever. And for me, it's the third worst Marvel production, and that is Spider-Man: Homecoming.
That is obnoxious. That's just for me, right?
Nope. You know it's not. I
It's
don't.
the best thing they've put out. It's so good.
Yeah. No. Been there, done that. Fatigued out. Not even nearly his best appearance in this whole thing. And no, that does not work for me. Everything else on my list I like more, even if it's stuff that I don't think is very good. I like it prefer.
My number 25 is one of the earlier Marvel efforts, and that is Iron Man 2.
Okay. All right. Proportionally, I think some of our lists are. It's going to be kind of the same.
And by the way, we're already at movies I've given a 3 or higher to.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I don't. We're not there quite. We're not there for me yet, and won't be. But number 24, another thing that I did give up on. I made it through halfway. No, not even halfway through the second season. But agree with you. Missed opportunity. That is Luke Cage.
There you go. But I think he's good. Like if they put Mike Coulter in a Marvel movie as Luke Cage, I'd be fucking psyched.
I think he's good. I don't think he's great, but I mean I like him.
All right.
But yeah,
And Mahershala Ali was in that first season, and
you make him fucking Luke Cage.
yeah, maybe a year later they would have.
Bulk him up. Yeah,
But Mike
man.
Coulter looks like he has bulletproof skin.
Well, I can't argue that.
Yeah. All right. My number 24 is a movie I found. Honestly, this was maybe the biggest disappointment I've had with Marvel because I was very excited for it and I didn't think it was very good. And that is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Whoa. Wow. All right.
Very excited that Gunn is back on Guardians 3, though. So I'm back on board with you, Marvel.
But this was okay. Yet you didn't regard this very highly.
But I still think Gunn's a great filmmaker, and I wouldn't want to see anyone else doing Guardians.
All right. And like you said, these are all like threes to you.
Yeah.
All right. Number 23 is a two-star movie that nonetheless is shit upon universally by everybody, generally regarded as the worst movie they ever did, and I don't agree, but it's not very good, and that is Thor 2: The Dark World.
Okay. My number 23 is a movie that Henry's obsessed with, and that is The Incredible Hulk.
You know, I could rip you for that, but this is our this is the one big divergence, I think, on this huge monumental list.
But I like Incredible Hulk way more than you like Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Well, you like it. That's a difference, right? I mean, I don't even like Spider-Man, which I appreciate because in your honest opinion, isn't really a fuck you to me.
It is so weird to me when I look at the Marvel rankings lists and like Incredible Hulk is like in last place, and people are like, "Well, this is the obvious last place." No.
I appreciate you saying that. I mean, I know you're not saying it for me, but it is weird. You're right. Everyone just disregards it. I don't really get it. I'm not sure why. That's still and that's still happening, huh? You think, or you know?
Well, I look after Endgame came out. I looked at a
Oh,
lot of
okay.
the
Yeah.
lists. Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. All right, number 22. We're starting to get into. We're in 3-star territory now for me. 22. This is a very weak 3 stars for me though, and that is Captain America: The First Avenger.
Okay. My 22 is a very excellent 2 seasons and out ABC drama series, and that is Agent Carter.
Oh, all right. Okay. Cool. Never saw it. My number 21, I think, is
Who,
also.
by the way, Jarvis, the dude who plays Jarvis in Agent Carter, was showed up in fucking Endgame. I think that's the first
Oh,
time that's happened where a TV
oh,
guy made it into a movie.
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right.
All right, 21.
21, Lucky 21, a movie that when we covered, I liked it a lot more than a lot of people, and don't think it's too bad. And that's Iron Man 2.
Okay, yeah, I like that movie. All right. My
Yeah.
number 21 is a Netflix show that I liked the first season of and have not gotten around to watching the second season yet, and that is The Punisher.
Fuck.
You forgot that?
Fuck.
Every time.
All right. That's going to go right here.
All right, all right. You'll give us an A, B when you get to it.
Son of a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'll help me. Thank you for the rescue. That'll actually help me a great deal.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I already put it right here. Okay. All right. Number 20. This is a 3-star movie. No great shakes. Good enough. And that is Captain Marvel.
Okay. My number 20 is a movie, or no, a TV show on Hulu that I think is the best non-Netflix Marvel show, but it is not as good as the comic, which is one of my favorite Marvel comics of all time, and that is Runaways.
Okay. Didn't see it. All right. My number 19, I'm pretty sure, is regarded very weakly by a lot of people, but I didn't get what all the fuss was about. I thought it was perfectly fine and quite good. And that is the 19 is the Defenders.
Yeah, it was boring. My number 19 is
I did not think so.
a movie that the missing some high highs maybe, but a totally solid movie and definitely one that made me want to see more of the character, and that is the first Ant-Man film.
Oh, all right. That was good placement. I hear you. All right. My number 18 is Avengers Endgame.
Oh, what a surprise! I thought you were gonna love this fucking thing.
No.
Wow. Interesting. Okay.
I didn't know what you would think I'd think, and I kind of sort of guessed what
I
you would think,
really didn't expect to be going into this liking it more than you.
oh, right, because you haven't brought it up, but you have a longer list, so if you ratio it out, we'll. But
Yeah.
still, okay. So on my list, it's like 11th in here.
Okay. We're on 18.
18.
Okay.
So for me, it's the 18th best thing they've done.
My number 18 is the first Thor movie.
Ooh. Much lower than me. All right. My number 17 is the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
Much lower than me. My number 17 is Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Oh, all right. My number 16, right behind its predecessor, is Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which I did like more than the first one.
Yeah, I don't get that. My number 16 is a totally solid origin tale, probably about as good as Ant-Man, and that's Doctor Strange.
That's your 16?
Yeah, I gave Doctor Strange a bump over Ant-Man just because the special effects are fucking cool.
Doctor Strange is my number 15.
Oh, so it was my 16 is your 15.
Yeah.
All right, my 15 is all right, here it is. My number 15 is the very excellent, very Shane Blacky Marvel movie, Iron Man 3.
Oh, God. Iron Man 3, better than the Incredible Hulk.
Big time. Not even close.
Sure. It's interesting you do what you did with Doc Strange. That was a weird one for me. They oddly went together, but I came out on top this time. I believe. I think I enjoy Ant-Man more, so that is 14, right above Doctor Strange. Ant-Man.
Okay, my number 14 is Get Back to the TV Well, and I've watched the first 2 seasons and not the third, and I fully plan to. And that is the very excellent Netflix series Daredevil.
Oh, God, that's
too low.
Jeez. Okay.
Okay.
Wow. I wasn't expecting. I have to tell you. All right. Number 13, Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Okay. My number 13, as we wrap up the Marvel TV universe with my favorite of the Marvel TV shows, Jessica Jones.
Wait, this is
which would be a lot higher, except I was not into the second season.
It's
the first. If Jessica Jones was a 1-season show, that might be in my top 5.
Yeah, I understand that, but I still really liked season 2. It's not anything with in comparison to season 1, but I took them as a whole. So,
right. I did too.
I know.
All right, what's number 12?
Number 12 is Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Okay, yeah, very charming, very funny movie.
Yeah.
Which also surprisingly was very important to the plot of Endgame.
Yes,
I
only knew would be. Knowing the only thing I was spoiled on, and it was a little nerdy of me, but just from a trailer from Endgame, I could tell there was some Ant-Man action going to happen because of the suits they were all wearing and their little walk-up.
Right. Fair enough.
That's it. Yeah.
My number 12 is Avengers Endgame.
Oh, my. Okay. So that's pretty high.
It's pretty high.
32, yeah. Wow. All right. Number 11 for me is Thor.
Okay. My number 11 is Ant-Man and the Wasp.
All right. We're getting into the tenors,
Top
folks.
10, baby.
Captain America Winter Soldier.
And my number 10, another captain, Captain Marvel.
Really? Wow. Very, very high here.
That's right.
Now, you said I could have an A and B.
Yes, go ahead.
Punisher, right? Okay, so I'm really annoyed. I did this list 3 fucking times, and I still forgot the Punisher. So we're going to throw in my number 9 being a tie with the first Avengers movie and the Punisher.
Okay. And my number 9 is the first Iron Man. The one that started it all.
That's right. All right. My number 8, and this surprised me that this was higher than yours. That is Jessica Jones.
Yeah, happy to see it.
Well, you introduced me to this character. You lent me
Alias, yeah.
Right, and I thought that show was just magnificent. Mainly the first season, like you,
right.
But I still think it's, in terms of Marvel stuff, it is right up there. So that is number 8.
Great
right
stuff.
Below the Punisher.
Okay, my number 8 is the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
Wow. Yeah. All right. Okay. My number 7 is the movie that started it all, Iron Man.
Okay, my number 7 is a movie that I've grown to appreciate a lot in the past year, and that is Avengers: Infinity War.
Number 7.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. All right. My number 6, one of the only 3 Marvel movies that I did not see in theaters, but then saw it and was flipped around completely. It is awesome, and that is Thor Ragnarok.
Love to hear it. Makes me happy. My number 6 is the only Marvel picture to be nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars, and that is Black Panther.
Okay, and here we go, folks. This is where we want this to be playing, and that would be ready because I had done it prior.
I fucking hate you.
Here it is.
Heavy hitters. These are the grand slams, the slap shots, the three-pointers, the touchdowns, the curling when the puck gets close to the circle. These are the heavy hitters of the franchise. Heavy hitters.
The aforementioned Black Panther.
Okay, it's a heavy hitter, man.
It is.
My number 5 is, get ready for this heavy hitter, The Avengers.
I like it. I like that you did that. Sure. Why not? My number 4, personal affection affecting the decision. But also, it's such a solid, great movie. I will be promoting this forever. The Incredible Hulk.
Number 4.
It's everything that I want out of
And you still haven't brought up Daredevil.
No, I
haven't. Oh my God, Henry. You're losing your mind over there.
I'm not sure what's happening on your end, but I'm sticking to the best products that I put out.
I'm making a list of the best possible content.
That's exactly what I'm doing, man. Somebody wants to see what's this Hulk character about? Well, you won't get that in Endgame. You won't get that in Infinity War. Why don't you check out the Incredible Hulk? That'll give you what you need.
My number 4 is Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Wow. Yeah, very high.
Yeah.
Okay. It was in my top 10. All right. Number 3, I agree with you in that my affection for this movie has only grown, and I did not expect it to be such a dichotomy, which we'll be getting into. But number 3 is Avengers: Infinity War.
My number 3 is, I'll tell you what, the best Russo brothers Marvel film, and that is Captain America: Civil War.
Good call. The number 2 best product Marvel put out, I watched this with
Daredevil.
More than any anticipation I have ever watched a superhero movie, only maybe along with the Nolan Batman movies. I never anticipated anything as good as it fucking delivers in all 3 seasons. Daredevil.
Okay. Yeah.
And yes.
I was starting to get scared that he was going to be number 1.
Well, listen, look, like Spider-Man is sort of your favorite character. I never want to say he is absolutely your favorite character because I know that the X-Men and even Daredevil. But
my favorite character is Atticus Finch.
That's a good
Thank
call.
you very much.
Mine is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde from the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Oh, just specifically from that.
Yeah, right. Only from that.
My favorite is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, as performed by David Hasselhoff on Broadway.
Mine is Max von Sydow in King of Kings.
He tread the ports. Wait, what's that, King of Kings?
Oh, it's one of them Jesus pseudo biopics.
My favorite character of all time is Kevin James on The King of Queens.
Mine is Jeff Green as Jeff Garland on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Okay. That's your favorite character of all time?
Favorite character of all time. Kramer on Kramer versus Kramer.
Yeah. Kramer on Kramer versus Kramer. That what a breakout character he was. My favorite is the Fonz in Sophie's Choice. Classic stuff.
Okay. Anyway, Daredevil is the number 2 greatest product that the MCU has ever put out. It's fucking awesome. It's everything I wanted it to be. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, the MCU.
My number 2 is Thor Ragnarok.
Nice. Then the best movie that they ever put out is still Captain America: Civil War.
And my favorite is Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Okay.
All
right. We did it, folks.
We fucking did it.
You didn't. Did you? Okay, I'm sorry. Did you not ever watch The Punisher at all?
I have The Punisher on my list.
Where was it?
That's how it reminded you to put it on yours.
Right. I'm getting older and older every week.
It's number 21 on my list.
Thank you. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah. All right.
All right, it's this fucking Endgame movie. It's just 3 fucking hours sitting there. Listen, I liked it. It is such a massive movie that I have to appreciate it on that level. Listen, as a guy who grew up with the Marvel Universe, who grew up like worshiping these characters and knowing every little thing about every stupid, tiny, nothing Marvel character, to see that fucking massive fight where they all show up on the scene through those portals. I mean, come on, man. That shit was for me. You know what it was like? We've talked about this, Henry, how, you know, the ideal wrestling pay-per-view would just be entrances.
Yeah, sure.
That's kind of what this movie is near the end.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, everyone just appears. It's like a triple, quadruple panel.
Right. Hey, there's Wakanda. Hey, there's the ladies of Marvel. Hey, there's the Asgardians.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's a mega fight in a short span with a few seconds of each group. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Unfortunately. Yeah.
Well, that's what you say, but I kind of appreciate it.
There yet, but yeah.
Because, listen, I think that this movie comes in 2 distinctive halves, where on the one hand, we are paying close attention to the Avengers as they exist as a team. And we haven't done this in a while. A lot of the times, these characters have all come together. Certainly in Infinity War, it was on a broader spectrum. Characters going off in random groups of 2s and 3s. You know, hey, there's Iron Man with Spider-Man and Doctor Strange hanging out. And so something I appreciate about this movie was it was an Avengers movie with the classic lineup.
I agree. I mean, I like that, but we'll just get right into it. I mean, are you going to do the plot at all, or what do you want to do?
So, I mean, it starts directly after the snap, right?
Right.
And they go off and defeat Thanos, right? That's what happens, like, right away.
That's the movie.
Captain Marvel shows up to help. And
that was a great. I like that.
This is a slippery slope with Captain Marvel, though.
I agree. But that moment was very cool, and I didn't expect it when she rescues Iron Man and Nebula. Yeah, what you're talking about?
I don't even remember. Well, at the very beginning, like, she shows up. They're like, you know, they put the beacon in for her, and she introduces herself to the team, and they know where he is. They go off to find him, and she, you know, she's so strong, dude. Like, this is a problem. Is Captain Marvel the way they get her to not be around all the time is there's a million planets in the solar system. She's off fighting for all the other ones. And, you know, that's fine to an extent, but then she sort of becomes a Deus Ex Machina, where if you need someone, listen, we can't, it's too strong for us, we can't defeat this one, call Captain Marvel.
Right. Yeah, I know. Yeah, and, all right, so... Should I just go into some of my critiques of the movie?
Go ahead.
The things that bothered me the most, because I still want to say that I did like this movie, but as evidenced by my list, you know, Infinity War was the number 3 on my list, and Endgame was
So
18.
This is a disappointment.
18. Yeah, it was a disappointment. But I still liked things in it so much.
The Thing wasn't in it, Henry.
Maybe that's what it was missing. Oh, wait, it did have a big hulking figure in it that went around. Oh, no, he didn't. He was sitting in a chair with glasses on.
Okay, we're gonna differ on this one because
I thought we might. And I ain't backing down.
I'm a guy who likes Smart Hulk. I vastly prefer Smart Hulk to Rampaging Hulk. And
I don't. Yep, go ahead.
And I thought the way they integrated that into this movie was fucking great. And whatever they're doing with this motion capture, because Mark Ruffalo is delivering a legitimate performance in this movie in Hulk face. And I really enjoyed everything with the Hulk in this movie.
All right.
It reminded me of old school, like Peter David Hulk from the 80s.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So one of my big problems with the movie, I'll just spell it out here. All right. So we get Avengers Infinity War. We talked about it last year. I think we were both in agreement that Hulk was not. We know he wasn't used, so we got Bruce Banner in a Hulkbuster suit.
That was a major problem with that movie.
Agreed, which was then not rectified by what it teases you with. It's what it's going to do in Endgame. Instead, they go for the concept from the comics that I've also read and have no problem with in the comic book, because it works in the comic book.
You think this is a concept that doesn't work on the page?
You mean in the movie?
Yeah, off the page.
Absolutely not. I didn't think it worked for 1 second.
I just disagree, man. Look,
I figured
the
we would.
easy thing to do, because I can't become the Hulk. That whole movie is a big moment in this movie. I'm the fucking Hulk now. But I like that they didn't take that route.
I don't think the Russo brothers have much use for the Hulk. That's just, I mean, think about it. I mean,
Henry's getting mad at the Russo brothers, though.
What do you want from me? Hey, Bruce Banner. Yeah, I just don't think they have much use for him. I think they didn't use him in Infinity War. They turn him into a geeky, talking ridiculous Muppet.
It's not oh God.
The motion caption. What do you call it?
Motion capture.
Thank you. It works in terms of that it's done kind of well, but it really reminded me sometimes, not to this extent, because this was much worse, but it reminded me of one of those things like the Beast to Kelsey Grammer thing, where it just looks ridiculous.
I don't know, man. Mark Ruffalo has very specific facial tics, I was watching a Mark Ruffalo before.
I would rather just watch Bruce Banner. When he jumped out of that in the ghostish sequence with Doctor Strange's mentor, I can't remember her name, Tilda Swinton's character.
The Ancient One.
The Ancient One. I was like, oh, good, thank God. Let's put this to rest for a while, and let's just look at.
I loved seeing Tilda Swinton back in this movie. Like, that was part of the fun for me. It was just
agree.
A nice little tour through the Marvel universe that we had legitimately established over the previous movies.
I completely agree. But anyway, the whole Professor Hulk thing didn't work with me. I mean, I guess there's the 3 types of Hulks, right? There's many types, but in personality, he's either a dumb, smashing idiot. He can be sort of in the middle, right? Like we got in, as I recall, Thor Ragnarok, where he's smart, but he's not like full on Bruce Banner at all.
I think he's raging in that movie, right? Because when he finally turns into Ruffalo doesn't remember the previous 2 years of his life.
Right. So I just That's my personal preference, and I thought actually the opposite of what you did, where you thought it would have been kind of an easy cop out to have like a big old moment where he hulks out and turns it. I did not like. I thought it was a cop out to have him do this, and then even in the flashbacks when he's like ashamed of looking at himself in the Avengers. I was just completely turned off by that. So that was a major, major disappointment for me.
Okay. The Hulk didn't give Henry a boner. What else you got?
You love. I kind of thought you would.
Honestly, because I'm ready to agree with you on a lot of these criticisms, and that is not one.
Yeah, I thought of all the things I was going to say, I think the rest you're probably either going to agree or not mind. That one I thought you probably would like. So yeah. I thought the women characters in the movie were given really short shrift, almost to the point of insult. Like,
I kind of agree, dude.
I mean, my lord, we got Captain Marvel, we got the Wasp.
The Wasp is barely in this fucking thing.
Barely. We throw in Gwyneth Paltrow for like nothing, and then
it was funny to see. You know what? Fuck Natalie Portman. The fact that Gwyneth Paltrow, the founder of billion-dollar company Goop, came back for like multiple scenes in this movie, and Portman only like sent in a little voice recording of herself. Like, fuck that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what the circumstances with that were, but yeah, I guess so. Sure. I mean, yeah, but at the end there, it sets up in the battle sequence like that awesome moment where you have all the women together, right? And
I found that so patronizing.
Yes, and it wouldn't have been patronizing. And would have been a very comic book thing to do if it would have been like a full out like display of their powers and they would have gone on to like some major aspect of the fight. But all you get is
or if that was a thing in any movie in this fucking franchise. If at any point we got a scene with a bunch of women, a bunch of the female characters talking together about like starting a team together or something. But like this is not like a storyline. All this is like, see, we have good female characters, even though we only made one movie with one of them.
That's right, and they get probably under 10 seconds of fight time in terms of being together. So
I remember there was outrage when the fucking poster came out for this movie that Danny Gurira's name was not attached to the poster, even though her image was on it. And like, I get why now. She has like one line.
Yeah, there's no need for her to be on the poster. I mean, so
the only female characters that are actually characters in this movie are Black Widow and Captain Marvel. And neither one of them are given that much to do. I did appreciate Black Widow sort of like pseudo running the Avengers, in the 5 years later sequences.
I realized something interesting that I don't think I've realized, and it might just be in this movie, but I know this actually will be, you'll disagree with me on this, I think, but I just don't think Scarlett Johansson in certain roles is a very good actress. I was disappointed because I feel like when she's sitting around like Avengers
HQ,
yeah, those scenes should have been a little more poignant, and they were made poignant when other people showed up, and it's just kind of funny. Like, even as like a female counterpart, Brie Larson to me is like a fucking great Captain Marvel, despite the nothing she's given to do here. And she has such a cool presence.
I don't know, dude. Go back and watch that first Avengers movie when she's tied up in that chair.
Yeah, it's good, but I that's not, in this, she just doesn't have a lot of heft. And my point is, when she dies in this.
Does she die? Oh, yeah, I remember.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's fair. There's that
scene.
That's that big scene with Hawkeye and Scarlett Johansson fighting over who's gonna die first.
And I never thought, dude, in a million years, the way these movies were going all these years, that I preferred Hawkeye to live over her.
Yo, I almost called you Nathaniel just now. That's crazy. Old school podcasting. Henry,
Tell me, what were your thoughts on that?
Well, I kind of agree with you, and I think this is the best Renner in any of these movies.
Fuck yeah. That's an easy call, right?
Yeah, he kind of rules in this, and the show. It was nice to see Linda Cardellini. By the way, how about this movie opening with just the pilot episode of The Leftovers?
Yeah, 110%.
It's just the scene directly from the fucking Leftovers.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Linda Cardellini disappearing and shit. And I liked him with that. I liked his silly mohawk. I liked him turning into Ronin at the end, which I think is supposed to be setting him up for a Disney Plus series. Have you heard about this?
He's doing some violent shit, man. I mean, he's the first guy in this universe, besides the Punisher, who is just murdering people indiscriminately, and that's refreshing.
This is taken from some Bendis Avengers comics.
Sure, I believe you. Yeah, and but yeah, I felt like, my God, you know, in Infinity War, Gamora dies. I didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Black Widow dies. I didn't give a shit.
I definitely cared more. But you know what?
I cared more, but not like I think I was supposed to.
You know what affected me, though, Henry?
Thing.
They announced a fucking Black Widow solo movie before this movie came out.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a prequel.
I mean, I guess. I suppose. But, like, I mean, or is it? I have no idea. So, that, like, part of me... You know, I was not spoiled on this movie, but part of me was like annoyed watching that scene because that's all I was thinking about.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. I felt like there was a lot of prologue in this movie, some of which worked, but then we don't save that much time for a battle, and as been said 1,000 times by me before, the great moments in these movies are the moments between the characters. So I think I
yeah, but there was a lot of that in this movie. There was a lot of talky talk in this movie.
There was a lot of talky talk. I think this movie could have benefited greatly, and I know it was a marketing thing, but this movie would have benefited greatly by not being a two-parter in the way that it's just a direct continuation and in 1 year after, because they filmed them back to back or filmed them at the same time, and I think that hurt it. I think the care and preparation was taken clearly with Infinity War.
The problem is that
the game seems like a rushed, not thought out production to me, to meet a deadline, to get out there, and that was disappointing.
All right.
No,
I don't know. I mean, part of me agrees with that because, look, time travel is the most uncreative way to solve problems in sci-fi fantasy stories. There's time travel in this movie, and some of those scenes were fun, but in terms of plot mechanics, I mean, it doesn't make much more sense than Days of Future Past, which we talked about last week. And
I really have a problem with the time travel thing. I mean, it was funny. I thought the humor was there. I thought that was okay. I did think one thing they took too far, which I thought was going to be fixed, and then it wasn't, was I loved the introduction of Thor in this movie.
Oh, you wish he wasn't fat the whole movie?
Yes.
I was kind of okay with it. But
I would say that.
The best thing with Thor in this movie is the setup that he's going to be in the Guardians of the Galaxy going forward.
Yeah.
The next Guardians of the Galaxy movie having Chris Pratt and Chris Hemsworth in it. Holy shit, dude.
Be great. And Chris Hemsworth and Paul Rudd in this movie were the funniest people in it.
Rudd is a delight, man.
Oh my God, he's so good, dude.
And I think he gets better as this character every movie. Like, I liked Ant-Man and the Wasp significantly more than I liked Ant-Man in the first one. And I think, like, he seemed so much more comfortable doing it now than he did, like, back in Civil War. And even in Ant-Man and the Wasp. It's really fun to see Paul Rudd weirdly growing into this massive superhero franchise.
He's fucking great. And I had not remembered who I had picked as my MVP for our Infinity War, so I was shocked at who I had picked. I had to go back and I listened to some of the episode to find out.
Who'd you pick?
I had picked Chris Pratt.
Wow, yeah. Well, he is funny in that movie.
It's funny. And
who did I pick? Do you know?
I didn't listen. No, that's not true. I did. I just don't remember. I don't remember. I thought you'd know.
I don't remember.
Yeah, you might have gone Chris Pratt. I don't know.
Sounds like me.
But yeah, I thought Thor was great. I mean, all right. So those are the criticisms. Let me tell you. Let's talk about what we liked, and I'd like you to go first. I feel like I'm talking too much here. I want to hear what you thought.
Iron Man dying hella worked.
I welled up and was wiping my face.
Yeah, it was a really good sequence. I think Robert Downey Jr. was engaged in this material and really working it. And I mean, I just think like he was as good as Tony Stark in this as he was in the fucking original Iron Man movie. Still just killing it. His death scene worked on every level. Every character they showed the reaction was perfect. Tom Holland is so good.
Heartbreaking. And the moment when Doctor Strange looks at Tony and like holds his finger up and he's like, one, like there's one outcome where we win. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. I mean, it was chilling. I mean, that alone was great. What did you think of the great moment? I think, I don't know, I'm sure it's lifted from the comics, not verbatim.
What?
But not at all verbatim, but the concept. When Thanos has Thor down to the grindstone there, and all of a sudden Thor's hammer flies into Captain America's hand.
Oh, yeah, that is taken from the comic, and that is fucking awesome, of course.
So good, and Thor's like, oh, I knew it.
Yeah, a voice who can command a god and does.
That's right.
I'll just keep referencing that shit.
Thank you.
What
else did you like?
Man, what else did I like? The 5 year later sequence I felt was really ballsy. Was not expecting it at all. I like that they defeated Thanos so early in the movie. I liked them sort of just having to like sit with it and deal with it. And what everyone was doing made sense to me character-wise. And by the end, I just really liked the just sort of tour of the Marvel Universe stuff. This is like victory lap of this movie. And look, I didn't think it was like a profound movie or anything. It didn't like blow me away. I think it is only as high on my list as it is because it's so big and because at 3 hours it did not feel long to me, which
didn't feel long to me either.
Surprised me. But it was. I felt serviced. Like this movie is just there to give Marvel nerds blowjobs. Yeah, and I felt that way. And look, there were tons of just little things I enjoyed. Old Steve Rogers at the end was very cool to me.
Welled up again.
Yeah.
The two moments for me where I really got emotional was obviously Iron Man's death and Cap going back to live his life. And no, I didn't get confused or question the fucking timelines.
Oh, who gives a shit?
Oh my God, I read so many things.
Oh, I steer very clear of that shit.
I had to. I wanted to. I read like 2, and then I was done. Yeah. If he did that, then he would have never. Nothing would have happened. Okay. Shut the fuck up. Who cares? Great stuff. Great acting by Chris Evans in that, by the way. That aging makeup usually really blows, but
I even didn't think it was amazing here, but it wasn't distracting or anything.
Good.
He's good in the sequence for sure. We got to see the little kid from Iron Man 3, which I was excited about.
Yeah, I had to look that up after. I did not. I knew it was some moment, but I didn't know what the hell it was. Yeah.
But how about that like sort of weird reverse chronological lineup of like it was like a curtain call of you know what I mean?
I don't know what you mean by reverse
It
curtain
was
call. Tell me.
reverse chronological. Like
Oh, like the newest people.
it was
I
so
like
fucking
that.
weird. Like they were like clustering the people in reverse chronological order with like the Wakanda cast coming on pretty soon, and then like it goes back, and then there's the kid from Iron Man 3, and then there's the Guardians of the Galaxy. It was in order of how they were introduced into the story until like at the very end, you've got like fucking Jon Favreau sitting on his fat ass.
Yeah, and Nick Fury.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
of course it had to end with Fury.
But so here's a question towards the end game of the end game here. Why was, and I think you agree with me, why was Infinity War so much more satisfying than Endgame?
Because
It's
in
the first half of a movie. It shouldn't work that way. You know?
But here's why. Because this is the same thing as Avengers and Infinity. Okay, Avengers Infinity War. You're watching that movie and you're waiting to see how they're going to beat Thanos at the end because it's a superhero movie. And at the end of superhero movies, the superheroes win. And at the end of Infinity War, Thanos makes that snap. And I think that moment automatically elevates everything else in that movie. To a huge degree and makes it a significant superhero movie because there's no superhero movie that's done that before.
Sure.
This movie, by its very essence, is at the end of the movie, the Avengers are going to win because they're not going to make two Avengers movies in a row in consecutive years where the Avengers lose at the end.
Well,
it was
of
just
course not.
a fucking foregone conclusion the entire time. So whereas Avengers Infinity War felt like a movie with urgency where here we're trying a thing, we're doing this for the first time, we're bringing all these characters together, it's very special. Avengers Endgame felt more like a victory lap than a movie. All right, we're wrapping up this phase of the Marvel Universe. Thank you very much. Everyone's going to take a curtain call. Everyone's going to get one moment and scene. And
Yeah.
they win and the end and so it was less satisfying by virtue of the fact that its only purpose was to be satisfying.
That's pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, I left the theater. I suppose I was satisfied. I liked it. I had a good time. But during and after, I definitely was just kind of like I wasn't left cold. I was just frustrated a little bit
I hear
because
you.
I feel
Look,
like
I can totally see someday watching Infinity War and choosing not to watch Endgame afterwards, the same way I have so often watched Empire Strikes Back and not bothered to watch Return of the Jedi.
yeah. I just felt like I was glad that Cap and Iron Man and Thor got the screen time that they got, but it was also just such a strange omission, no pun intended, to not have any of the people from Infinity War have a little bit longer screen time. I mean, we almost get none of them. I mean, I get that they reappear, but I could have used, their return, I think maybe should have been sooner. I mean, you really get 2 hours of sort of setup and sulking, and then you get them back.
Yeah,
And
I
it
can
should be
see
like a
that.
big moment for everybody, and it's a moment, but it's very fast.
Yeah, I mean, but you're juggling literally over 100
I know.
characters at this point.
I know. But having said all that, there was a lot of cool shit in there, and I did like a couple of Captain Marvel's, the couple of appearances she had. I thought Robert Downey Jr. was absolutely phenomenal. It made me emotional just thinking about, as I think it probably did everyone, his career and just how far
Yeah,
he's
right?
fucking come. Yeah, and I think they did it the right way. I
Yeah.
think they killed the right character. I mean, I didn't. I knew they'd kill somebody.
No, that was the guy. You're right. Iron Man had to die in this movie. That's the arc of the character.
Yeah, and so I thought all that was great.
Yeah,
So
and you'll be
all
loving
right.
him in as Doctor Doolittle when we cover that in January.
Yeah, I hope that that's a short-lived career choice.
All right. What do you give it?
I'm giving the movie 3 stars.
That's fair. I reserve the right to someday give this movie 3 stars, but I'm still all pumped off of Marvel excitement, so I'm gonna give it a 4.
I like it.
Yeah.
Wow, good for you. All right. I mean, good for you for being pumped. I don't think it's a 4-star movie, but that's
I think I
okay.
probably agree.
But you're gonna go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I gotta go MVP with Robert Downey
RDJ.
Jr.
I'm doing
I
the
have
same
to.
thing.
Has to be done.
I have a definitive LVP.
So do I. But I want
Okay.
to guess. You already know mine probably, so I'm gonna. But I'm not sure I know yours.
Oh, is yours Hulk?
Yeah.
Oh, that's ridiculous. All right.
I don't think it is.
Mine
I
is a
think
character who got a lot of screen time in this movie and was
Ooh.
never for a single moment interesting.
Oh. I don't think there's going to be anything nebulous about your choice.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Wow.
It's Nebula. Fuck that character. Get her out of here.
It's funny because I really liked her in Infinity War and in the GOGs. I thought she was fine in this. I mean, I don't know.
Boring.
I didn't really. Got a lot of props, by the way, to Josh Brolin.
Oh
We don't
yeah.
talk about him. He's really good at that.
I think this was his best performance.
Yeah, I mean, that motion capture worked. That shit was great, and as it always has been with that character. But boy, he's good.
I think it
But anyway.
improved in this movie. I think they've really gone to town with that fucking motion capture.
Yeah, he's great.
Oh, Henry.
We did it.
We did. Oh, by the way, I was surprised to see Elizabeth Olsen. I thought we were like gonna forget that character existed.
Yeah, that was odd. Another one that kind of just. I mean, I guess she was in the Infinity War enough. It was nice to not see Vision.
Yeah, Jesus.
But yeah, so all right.
All right, there we did it. All right.